Holy
PR time. PR time.
super PR time. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner.
Sally Song in the building. Not late because of me. Well, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, for real. And this is the set 6145. It is Wednesday, March 17th, and this is the midweek chop up. But today we're doing something different. We have a guest, Brooklyn's own comedian, Mr. Willie Sweets. What up?
What's going on?
All right, man. All right, first and foremost, how you doing, brother? What's going on?
I'm good, man. Good. You know, making had a doctor's appointment, got my blood results,
How's it looking?
Everything's good, looking good. Just a little, my cholesterol, I got to work on that a little bit.
No está peleando.
Nah. It was negative.
Just the rabbit is alive. The rabbit's alive.
Yeah, just the people. The soda. Soda belly.
Man, so a lot to talk about. A lot of shit is going on. You want to, man.
I want to actually R.I.P. to Buddha, man. Yesterday made 2 years.
Yeah.
16.
Anybody who
right there, man.
is from Sunset Park, Mr. Johnny Chavez, we see you. Good evening. Anybody who's from Sunset Park knows Buddha. Buddha was like a hood celebrity, if you would. Party promoter, all around good guy. And even if you didn't know him personally, you were in circles close to people that did. Mm-hmm. Buddha treated you like you were family, no matter what.
Bad word to say about him.
Yeah, not one bad word to say about that man. Really good dude. And his health got bad, and unfortunately he passed away. But it's 2 years, right?
2 years, yeah.
Wow. Rest in peace to Buddha. What was that street? 50 what that he lived on? 53rd? 54th?
Yeah, I think they changed the name. They got the name changed. Joe Star and these guys got signatures. I believe they either got the name changed or they're in the process of it. I'm sorry.
Process?
Up.
Wow. Yeah. That's dope. Yeah, man. I can remember being on that block for a little while. I won't get into why, but
yeah.
I remember being there. And
you know how that rendezvous on that block.
And I could remember overseeing them out there. That whole crew that he used to chill with.
I think they called themselves or whatever.
Yeah. So rest in peace to Buddha.
KDJR.
Yes, I'm like
John the Cop. What was that dude's name?
Yeah, John the Cop.
I used to teach them.
Yeah. That whole it was like a few dudes that all ran together. Yeah. Mello, little I forget his name, JT, was it? Him, like they were family, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Mr. Ephraim Aviles, good evening. We see you. So yeah, man. Rest in peace to Buddha, man. Good dude. On another note, your boy is gonna be a partner in Boston. The Celtics, is it? Or no, the Red Sox.
Yeah.
How long do you think that's gonna last?
I mean, it's good, you know what I mean? Minority owners getting involved, and
of course.
I mean, we joke about it like, oh, the Red Sox, like me, more reason to hate them. Mm-hmm. But when the Yankees or anybody like that's gonna be up for sale anyway, so it's not like he's gonna buy the Knicks or the Yankees or anybody. So yeah, I mean, whatever, good for them,
Yeah, I think at some point he's gonna get a taste of them Boston Red Sox fans, and the reality is we all know what it's like up there, right? And I think that at some point there's going to be some sort of interaction between him and the fans, and he's definitely going to talk about it. So I think that's going to be the first point of contention. He's going to be like, listen, I don't want these dirtbags in the stadium, but it's Boston. It is what it is, On another note, I think people don't realize how they're being distracted with the news, man. Like, I saw this article. Cardi B and Candace Owens engage in epic Twitter battle. So basically what's happening right now is they're making a huge deal about the song WAP, right? The Blancas call it WAP, but it's actually WAP. So basically they're saying, conservative types are saying that this music is ruining the country, that they're teaching little girls to act in this fashion. To a certain point, I could agree, but I wholeheartedly disagree with the statement in that parents are responsible for raising their kids and what they consume, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. But to hear somebody like Snoop or other male rappers come out against the song, which I believe Snoop did, saying that, women should, keep things to the imagination. I'm like, dude, this is the same cat that was singing songs like Ain't No Fun Unless the Homies Can't Have None, or Big Shit but Hoes and Tricks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not necessarily setting the groundwork, for the empowerment of women or putting them in their proper place.
Right.
And I don't mean proper place barefoot in the kitchen. I mean proper place in our lives. So, it's just a whole bunch of fucking distraction to keep people from realizing what's really going on in the country. You know what I mean? So, whatever.
Speaking of, I had this, I don't know if you saw this, there was Pat McAfee. He does a internet show. Like, he's a prominent sports dude. And ESPN basically told their employees, like, you can't go on this man's show anymore. Like, they dubbing people like, y'all can't do the show. And he knows a lot of people. He played professional football with the Colts. He was a punter, played West Virginia. So he was like, he's with AJ Hawk. They used to be in the Packers. They do the show together with a bunch of dudes. So he was, all right, whatever, he was a little pissed off on his show about it. But the people, and I think people need to realize this, how we have a lot of power, like a show like this, you might feel like, it's not a big deal. Not a lot of viewers getting touched or whatever. It's fine. However, there's a voice here.
Yeah.
There's a voice here, and everybody has that voice. So the people took to Twitter and they tweeted out like, ESPN sucks. ESPN this, dub them, whatever. And all of a sudden, Mickey Mouse switched up, and he, because he owns ESPN. And they were like, no, Pat, they put out a statement and put words in his mouth. Like, we will continue to send people to Pat, and Pat will continue to do shows here. And he was like, I don't know about that last part, And I mean, if y'all don't know the story, y'all got to look it up. Pat McAfee. And my moral to the story is, we have a voice, man. We got a voice now, and a lot of people are getting exposed, doing people dirty throughout the industry and etc. So let's keep it up and let's keep building.
I'm glad you said that, Sel. I want to segue with what you just said. Recently, you and I have been having discussions, texting each other and back and forth and whatnot about shit like this. And you sent me a YouTube video. I'm not going to get into the detail of it, but to sort of springboard off of what you're saying about people having a voice, it's funny how, podcasting, right, has become a huge thing because of the pandemic, right? So you have all these people whose careers got stopped and are now opting to move to this platform. And it's funny because they're trying to control the narratives that are being told, when we all know that nobody's, a thief never comes out and says, oh yeah, you got me, or a politician, which is one of the same. Nobody ever comes out and is like, yeah, all right, my bad. Y'all got me. You know what I'm saying? So people need to understand that even though you're going to hear shit about people that you idolize or like or have, followed for years, when you come to find out that they're dirtbags, you got to eat it and you got to accept it.
Yeah.
And you got to hold them to that account. You know what I mean? They just ran the Pharaoh versus Allen documentary. And the funny thing is that this cat admitted that he was touching this little girl inappropriately to a psychologist, to a counselor or whatever. Then he turned around and used all his power to fucking PR campaign the shit out of it, sabotage research, like investigations and all this shit. And all these people were like, oh, Woody Allen, my friend, the greatest, this, that. that dude needs to be in jail.
Yeah.
You can't call somebody your daughter and then marry them.
Right.
That's not a segue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, I digress.
Yeah. But, all right. Let's run the track and let's start the show, I guess.
Yeah, let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Sally Song in the building.
And this is the set 6145. Tonight is the midweek chop up, but we have a special guest, Brooklyn's own Mr. Willie Sweets. Before we bring him into the room, we're going to get a few things out of the way, and then we're going to bring Willie on and have a discussion. Good evening to Miss Angelica Reyes. We see you. So this weekend, this Sunday, we have a guest, the producer out of Soundview, Mr. Minnesota from Moneyball's Players. If you haven't copped the album, go cop that. But at the same time, we're going to have a giveaway when he's on the show. I just wanted to play the opening of this joint. This is called Corazon. This is Lord Tariq featuring Mr. Lee, produced by Minnesota. This shit, dude, this shit is hard. You hear this?
Yo, born and raised on them uptown corners. Mules of goners, witnessed and heard.
Yo, that shit is fucking hard.
That's the Gran Como, I think, right?
Yo,
is it?
That shit is fire. I don't care what it is at this point.
That's Gran Como.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, who does that? You know what I mean? Listen.
Ojos Chinos, that's the name of that. Ojos Chinos.
Yeah. Once Upon a Handshake on iTunes and Spotify this Sunday. Minnesota Money Boys out of Soundview. Come check us out. It's going to be a dope show. Also, we're going to be giving away copies of Al King's book, Let It Be Known. We had a giveaway earlier on in the show. We're bringing it back. Two Bronx natives. So we're going to support, and do what we do. But tonight, it's all about Brooklyn. So tonight, we're going to have the conversation with Brooklyn's own Mr. Willie Sweets. And maybe even have a surprise.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the set, Mr. Willie Sweets.
What up? What up? What up? The set is on the set. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Sally Sal? How you?
Good. How you doing, Will?
I'm hanging in, man. I'm hanging in. Just trying to live the dream, baby.
You gotta love it. The energy in the room is real strong right now.
No, for sure. I'm coming with the fire, baby. Yeah. I gotta come with the fire. This is Brooklyn. This is Sally. Mr. A, it's nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys both for having me on the show today. This is great, man. This is just, pushing what I can, because the comedy set has been, doing comedy now is just wow.
Tough.
Talk about taking lifelines away, man. This is like anything, like any job you might have, it's just taken away from everything, man. It's just life, but you got to stay positive. That's the thing. You got to it's going to get better. It's going to get better, fellas. It's going to get better. Just believe it.
That's what everybody's hoping for. Right? Yeah, we're all hoping for that. I mean, the reality is that right now is a teaching moment. And if people do not understand, to find the lesson in the tragedy of what's going on, then we as a people, we might as well just be farm animals at this point, which,
right,
to tell you the truth, there's a lot of fucking farm animals amongst us. But,
it was talking about these apes and gorillas, but
it was a good time to, it was a good time to reflect on self, what we got to do better as, individuals.
For sure.
Now, we had too much time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh no, we're ready to go.
I actually started to like my wife after a little while. You know what I mean? So this is good. This has been great time. You know,
who are you?
Yeah. It's funny. Comedians always take it to the wife right away.
For real. No, fuck that bitch. I don't know that bitch. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry. I didn't know if I could curse on this.
Absolutely.
No, listen. Shoot from the hip, brother. No.
Yeah,
no censorship.
No, but it's been good, man. It's been rough. I mean, what really rough on me is the kids. It's like, where's the education going to go from here? I know when I was in school, I used to cut out. Now I watch my daughter cut out and go on YouTube in the room. You know what I mean? It's like what's gonna happen to these kids and the educational system? Like what? Like they're a year behind, at least, right? At this point in time, they're a year behind. Yep. So what happens now? What happens next with these kids? It's kind of scary, man.
It's funny.
Kind of scary.
It's funny you say that because when you think about it, the public education system is already like crumbling. We did 2 installments of the Educator series where I had 3 people with at least almost 60 years of experience in the system. And, you know, having the conversation with them really made it crystally clear, you know, not only that the system itself is kind of fucked, but on top of that, you know, the system for us, people of color, minorities, is doubly fucked. So, you know, you bringing that up is an interesting point, you know,
right?
And kids need that social interaction as well. It's also a component, right?
First of all, I was lost helping him with his Common Core shit as it is. Now you using like that Common Core math shit is like what?
Yeah. My daughter's 10 years old. I don't know what type of math they teaching, and they breaking down hundreds into tens into ones. Like, yo, just carry the one and then do it like that. What are you doing? What are you doing? And she's like, no, that's not how they taught me. I'm like, we gotta have a talk with this teacher because this is messing me up.
The funny thing is, the brother in the room, a good dear friend to the show, Mr. Joseph Estrella, when we had a conversation, I believe via text or online at some point about Common Core math, and he's like, if you can't teach this to your kids, then you're a failure as a parent. And I'm like, motherfucker, you got 3 degrees. Shut up. You know, this shit is confusing. Okay. We learned it differently. It's just some different extra shit, but it is like just a new way of thinking. Right. And we didn't grow up in that shit. Will, let me ask you a question, because I was talking to Sel. We have a lot of mutual friends. And when I saw your picture, I recognized you instantly. I'm assuming from either 5, 6, and 6 playing ball or somewhere shooting hoop. Am I right?
Yeah, no, for definitely Sunset Park. Well, let me for the record, let me set it straight.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not really from Sunset. I'm from Boro Park. So that's the borderline. So I've been hanging out with the Wheels. You know, well, easy. Don't Prices Right me just yet, baby. I was right there. I left the hood. Sally knows I was there. 5, 6.
He had the curls. He had the big curls coming to play.
Yeah. It was a different game for me, man. I played a different game. You know what I mean? I had to go in on Fridays, come out Saturday nights. It was a whole different game for me.
You was in Borough. What street were you on Borough Park?
Boro Park, I was on 51st in the U-Trick. So that's like when you hit Fort Hamilton. And I don't know how many people know this in Sunset Park, but Fort Hamilton is the borderline of Boro Park.
Yeah.
Sunset Park. So I was like, 3 blocks away from the borderline, so to say. So of course I had to move up and go further. But a lot of people won't admit that. Like, listen, 42nd Street and 10th Avenue, if they want to admit it or not, that is Boro Park, guys. For all those fellas that live almost, big shout out to Fort Deuce, 10th Ave. That's Boro Park. They get it, but they don't get it.
You know, the kid CJ has family from over there. The Whoopty, they're from 40th and 10th over there.
Oh, for real?
Old school cat, yeah.
What's funny? 2 things is funny about what was just exchanged here. CJ, I thought he was like 19, niggas like 30. Right? Second, 40 dudes, 9th and 10th. I was there rocking hard in the 80s, going to house parties. And these are conversations that I've been having with quite a few people that have come on the show. And they're like, what? You used to be them? Like, yeah. Me, Freshco, Troy, Corey, here. Like, there's so many like Borough Park, Sunset Park dudes that I used to bump into over there. It's crazy.
That's dope. I mean, listen, Fresco lived across the street from Maimonides, so I consider him. You know what I mean? Big shout out to
was over there too.
Yeah. Huh?
Boom.
Oh yeah, Boom was in the same building. They all listen. You guys are Borough Park. I don't care. You go across the street from Maimonides. It gets no more Borough Park than that, fellas.
For real,
don't try to get on me because I live down the road under the train station. Don't get on me because that was that wrong. But he used to always get on me. But that's what it was, man.
It's crazy. They took away the White Castle from over there.
They took it away, the White Castle, from everywhere. The one in Bushwick, they took away. The only one that's left that I found is the one in the Bronx off the FDR Drive. That one's still there.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only one that's still there. I mean, White Castle, as we all know, as young as we used to drink and do what we did, and that was our spot. 3 in the morning. Let me get 40 burgers.
Murder burgers.
Drinks.
Let me ask you a question, Will.
Mhm.
See, I see people from the hood. Now that we're old, everybody's taking a direction in their life or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And if I remember correctly, we might have played ball actually by that park or Fort Hamilton where they got the hockey attached to it.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
What I'm trying to understand is, where did it start? Where did the comedy start for you? Did it start in when you was a kid? Did it start after? Like, where did this come from?
The comedy started this way. I left to Illinois. I was preaching a church,
Illinois,
over the summer. All the kids in the church, all the counselors in the church said, we're gonna go south. I mean, we're gonna go down towards Illinois, towards Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So I wound up going towards Chicago and doing my thing. So after the whole summer camp was over, it's like, what do I do in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go to Chicago. I do that. After the whole camp is over, I go to school. Now I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to college. But I figured if I take theater, theater will be mad easy to do because I ain't got to pick up books. All I got to do is act like I'm acting. If I fail, I fail, but I'm acting.
Right.
Long story short, I love the fact that I was in theater. So what happened was the theater teacher was like, you're very charismatic, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I continued to take theater. He said, but you're not a theater, you're not a theater major. You definitely can't do theater.
You're not Shakespearean.
Yeah. You're not Shakespearean at all. So how about this? I'll pass you on your final if you do 7 minutes of comedy in the local comedy club of Zanies in Chicago. Wow. You do 7 minutes there and I'll pass you. So I wound up going there and doing 5 minutes of whatever I had, ran out of whatever material I had because I didn't know that was going to be the longest 7 minutes of my life, so to say. And I wound up after 5 minutes, wind up stopping and I don't know. Anybody got questions? I didn't know what to do after 5 minutes. I ran out of material, but the thing was, it was inspiring. Like I was like, wow, that was really great. The fact that I'm trying, like I tried, it was just inspiring and inspirational.
That's like me on the treadmill, 5 minutes. Whew,
damn, yeah, then you keep going. Forever, and that's with some people, they get on the treadmill, don't want to I'll never get on this again. But no, I definitely got on it again. I kept doing comedy. I didn't care whether Chicago wasn't my city. I was Sunset Park. I'm Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. So if I fail in Chicago, nobody knows me. Yeah. So I went full throttle. Didn't even think about it. Wound up doing great. Here I am in the 90s doing comedy. I get on Def Jam. You know what I mean? And here one of the only Puerto Ricans on Def Jam at the time. I didn't make the cut. Long story, I didn't make the cut. Funny story about that is about making the cut was
he's brought the Sandman out.
No. Funny, I hope you fellas know this story. Bernie Mac, right? Bernie Mac, the great Bernie Mac. When he was on the show, I remember he did the show. I think it was the second time where he came on. He had the spray painted jeans and all that.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers." Yeah. Right before him going on. Uh-huh. My story is, and this is a fucked up story, but I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna get it out of my system. Right before him, I bombed something awful. Wow. Like I bombed on Def Jam. I went up on Def Jam. This is the worst thing to say in front of a bunch of minority people. Wow, I haven't seen this many black people since the cheese line. That was my first joke.
And the crickets or booze?
Booze. It was beyond booze. It was beyond booze. So at that point, he saw I was losing, and now I got another 4 to 6 minutes to go after that joke. So I was totally losing the whole. I would thinking about it again. I probably would have broke if I thought I would have just got on my knees and just cried because that's how painful it was to do that. But and then after that, when my story continued, after that, the highlight of my story is that Bernie Mac comes on and does that. Y'all don't understand.
I ain't scared
of you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? In other words, he saw the dude before him lose. Mm-hmm. Now he's going up there like, what? I'm not. Mm-hmm. And this is his second time. Bernie Mac did okay the first time. The second time he went with that. But then I asked Bernie Mac about it, and he was like, no. It wasn't that you bombed. It just made that situation that much better because I already had that set in my mind. Remember, because if you remember the set, he used Kid Capri. Yeah. Kick it, and Kid Capri played the music, and so he already had that set in his mind.
I don't think
you know what I mean. Yeah, he did all that. He said he already had that sentence, so it only made it that much better, that much funny. It's almost like I set him up to be successful. But I mean, Bernie Mac is successful on his own.
Willie Sweets gave the alley oop to Bernie.
Yeah, I gave him the oop and he dunked it. But he didn't need the oop because he was about to, do his
Chris
thing
Rock
anyway.
was like, bring that guy in front of me anytime. Let him bomb.
That's my story.
But that was the worst situation. That was probably the worst experience ever. Like, in comedy, you win some, you lose some, but that was probably one of the biggest losses I've ever taken in my life.
Salute to our brothers, the Breeze Shooters. We see you.
You're still here, boss, since the 90s. So
not since the 90s. I'm still doing it. And but I want to just piggyback and echo off what you said. Big shout out to Buddha. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Rest in peace, A-list. I know y'all put me on to a lot of shows back in the days. Joe Starr, Lisa, all of y'all did big things for me. I appreciate it, man. And thank you. I just want to say that since we on here. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So I appreciate that. And then and we're still doing it. I'm still doing things,
man.
making things happen.
We're looking to do things after things open up too. So all these funny style cats that ain't hitting me back. I got you.
The sad part is that I'm leaving to Florida to do shows, but Florida's on fire with the COVID.
They never.
So it's like, wow, what am I? It's like, damn, I want to make this money, but these people are on fire. You know what I mean? And then you want to address the fans. Say, oh, you're funny, but I got to do it with a mask on because y'all don't care.
You got to wear a gas mask.
Florida just don't care. So they doing wild things out there. You know what I mean? But as far as comedy, it's still going. It's still, still rocking, still doing my thing. And it's just tough. Right now, just on the road with my man Joselito. Joselito da Puppet. You know what I mean? I open up for him. We about to do big thing. April 1st, we got a big show in Brooklyn with that kid, Mr. Nueva York, and this kid, Tommy 5000, my man Aldo. I think y'all had him on the show recently. Aldo, he's hosting the joint. We doing some April 1st. Latin style, you know what I mean? Because everything's Latin style. This is the only Latin April Fool's show I've seen so far.
That's
you know what I mean? So we're gonna try to do that and try to make it happen.
Salute to the Aldo Laugh, Mr. Aldo Maraclian. He was on the show, man. Funny dude, good dude, great energy. That should be a great show too. Yeah,
that's gonna be a good one. The only thing that I'm gonna be honest about my thing is that as far as like a Mr. Nueva York, he's very funny. You know what I mean? Very funny dude. A lot of people follow him. But a lot of these guys don't grasp the fight. Look, I put a lot of leg in this whole comedy thing. This is live comedy. You know what I mean? Like these guys are winning on the net.
Right.
They winning on the net.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal. When you go up there, this ain't you can't do those little, the little skits you do on the IG. And it kind of bothers me. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's just me and my opinion and how I feel. It bothers me that these guys are just, they winning on that. But on as far as trying to come to the comedy stage, it's like, wow, you guys are gonna lose, and you guys are gonna lose hard.
Well, I asked Aldo that question when he was on. I said, how do you feel about like those influencers and comedian, those internet comedians? And he was just like, listen, they got to make their bread or whatever they got to do, But I mean, I know it's a different ball game, when because I've heard it. I've heard the stories too. Like, yeah, they come and then they come to the sets and to the shows and they're like, dun, 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 so it's like, yo.
But
they definitely it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, there's no pause. You got to put the material together. Writing. A.G. White was on the show. Salute to A.G. White doing this.
Okay, that's what I'm at Brooklyn on, right?
Yeah, man. The Brooklyn people really represent for us, man. So, having A.G. White on the show was beautiful. Really good cat. But he really said it, he's like, listen, you have to arrange your shit. You have to write your shit, in a certain context, in a certain way, in order for the audience to be drawn in, one, understand where you're coming from, and then hit them with the punchline so that they laugh.
Right.
Somebody who's an IG comedian has a pause button, right?
Right.
They're writing out a situation, and on video, it could deliver the message and the funny, if you would. That doesn't always translate live. So you have to sort of change, your delivery, right?
Right.
With somebody like Major Hype. I don't know if you know him. He's a Caribbean comedian. Tremendous. He's been doing videos, IG videos forever. He transferred to stand-up. When you look at his stand-up, you can see that he takes his characters and he puts his material together so that it translates properly. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. And it's going to be a fucking hard lesson to learn, because when you bomb, oof.
No, it's great. Like for example, listen, I mess with Joselito. I open up for Joselito, and the reason why I mess with him, because before he was Joselito, big shout out to Daniel. That's his real name, the dude behind Joselito. I was doing comedy with him in Boston. Mm-hmm. So what he did to transfer his thing is that he brought Joselito out on stage with him, the person, and he wanted to see how the material worked. So when he goes behind that curtain and does Joselito there, his shit works to perfection because he worked on the craft. Right. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, he deserves all the love he gets, because he not only does the stand-up wise, he does the IG thing. So he has the best of both worlds going on, at one time. And he really put into the craft, so you can't take away from him. Right. You can't. He did it. He really
he wasn't just an internet influencer. He actually put that work in and was like, no, I got to get good at this.
And he made something that a lot of Puerto Rican people dig that dude. I mean, he's a little raunchy, the puppet, but a lot of Puerto Rican
like him. Huh? That's why we fucking like him, because he's
But the thing is, he could go like fucking ham on that puppet. With that puppet, he could say whatever he wants. Right. If you look at him now, he's talking about he got his stem check, and he extended his dick. Like, you can't. What are you doing? You can't do it. He's like, I got
cancel culture can't touch him either.
Yeah. He's like, I'm about to get the 1400. I'm gonna extend it. Like, he's going sick with this puppet.
Yo, I saw a video of him recently where he randomly pulls people up on the gram to talk to them. Right. And at one point he was talking to this older woman, and he was like, "Look, mommy, look, I'm gonna show it just for you." And showed the Jimmy. And she was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Yo, this nigga
with the doña, the viejita."
Showed him the fucking bichotazo, and she was like, "Oh, let me see it again. Let me see." He's like, "Yo, just for you, mommy, just for you." I was like,
he goes in with that. Like, he lives vicariously through this puppet, and it's crazy how like the things that he says, and it's like what every little Joselito kid, Calito, would love to say and love to do. If you ever seen like the act, not many people seen the act. The actor set, like a comedy actor, he actually put together. He has about an hour with about 4 different puppets. I'm sure we all seen them, like the grandma, the grandfather. He even got this little hood rat that he messes with. He talks about getting head on grandma's couch with the plati on it and all that, and she's giving him head. And I know she's a little fair, but she's still giving me head. Like, he goes in, he lives vicariously his young childhood days. He plays Big Pun. The kid is from Boston, so now it's amazing to see that he's actually getting in touch with New York City.
Oh, I thought he was from Brooklyn. Wow.
Nah. Joselito's from Boston. He's from Mass. And we met in a comedy festival a long time ago. Wow. And then one day, like, he was doing that, and he was doing his little Joselito character, and I was like, and he was like, I'm gonna bring it out. And when he brought it out, he went from like 400 followers to like 40,000 follers overnight.
Wow.
And then after that, he was like, yo, I'm taking this show on the road.
We're bringing the puppet to the set, nigga.
He bought himself a stage. He bought himself, he created more puppets. He got the voice down. It's amazing. Like, people come up to him, yo, I'll give you $100 for a name drop. Okay, just shout out my business. I'll give you $200. Like, what? Just for saying, Brooklyn Auto Body Shop, you're gonna give this nigga $200? I'll say the same thing. It's just the voice that gets him. It's the voice that gets him.
Wow. Salute to our brother, Mr. James Morales. We see you. James is sending you some love, Willie.
Oh, James. That's what's up. I love James. It's funny.
AKA Beefsteak Charlie, the brother. And New York's finest, we see you. Yo, it's crazy because when I first saw Joselito, I thought he was funny. And then I was like, wow, is this going to work? You understand? Because it's a puppet. Right. At first, I thought it was something like novelty.
Right.
I didn't understand, or I didn't believe that this person would be able to take it to where he has, in this moment. And to see him from where he started to now, dude is super talented and smart with it, because he's done a lot of different. He's come from a lot of different angles, promotional wise, content, involving other people that are like influencers or popular on the internet.
Right.
So, salute to him, man. I can imagine, being involved with that show. You guys must have a lot of great stories.
Oh no, it's just but you know what bugs me out the most? How much attention this puppet gets as a puppet, as far as like women and stuff. Like we literally go from shows to VIP sections, and girls want to hang out in the VIP section with a puppet. Like, bitch, that's a puppet. What are you doing? That's the puppet.
You know, there's a hand in there, right?
Yeah.
You're like sick. I'm like, yo, that is a puppet. What is going on right now? Like, and he's getting mad attention. They bringing him bottles with, like, yo, he's not a real celebrity, guys. He's not, he's a puppet. But hey, listen, it's working. God bless him, man. Keep going, bro. You know what I mean? He's feeding me. I'm not even going, he's feeding me. I'm not going to knock his hustle. Like, let's keep going. And the sad part was we was about to go West Coast before the whole thing happened. Like, a year ago today. Recently. But we was about to go West Coast, Denver. Like, we about to go Texas. And, they asked for him. They really called for him and say, yo, come here, come there. And that's how he does it. They hit him on the IG and they book him, and he does shows all across the country. And it's just amazing how much attention that puppet gets.
You guys going down to Florida, right?
We had a Florida run as maybe 2 months ago. We had that was right now. This run is like a lonesome run, because it's the spring break for the kids. So I'm going down there and I got to host it. I'm out there with Mark Vieira. Big shout out to Mark Vieira. We out there in Hollywood, Florida. You know what I mean? So
Mark, I'm watching you. I'm watching you, Mark.
Yeah. What happened? Y'all had beef with Mark?
No. We don't got beef. Yeah.
I wet that beak, right? I mean, what? Little return. Now.
You know what I mean?
We talked. We had things to say. And things that, that's what
forget. We wet that beak a little while ago. Come on. Give us a little 30 minutes here.
It's crazy.
We got
right. Recently, I was on Amazon. You can find everything on Amazon. And they have a puppet that looks like Joselito. And I was like, yo, you know what? We're going to send this dude a ransom video and be like, yo, we got your puppet. Just to fuck with him and shit. Right. Funny cat.
He's not original. I learned that also. Now that you're saying that, that puppet's not an original puppet. Like he create. The only thing original about that puppet is the voice.
Yeah,
because that you could buy that puppet, like you said on Amazon. You could buy him, but you can't make him.
And the bichotazo.
You can't make the bichotazo. You can't. You know what I'm saying? And puti puerca. You can't. That's him. He's created that, and you can't take that away from him. But it's crazy because we've had people like we go to shows and we won't get paid, and they'll fight with us. And what? I'll take your puppet and I'll burn all those puppets. And women have stolen the puppet. He has got the puppet back. Women have stolen puppet. We got the puppet back 3 or 4 times. We had to reorder the motherfucker. You know what I mean? And get the nigga back and start all over and get it. It's just crazy what the things he goes through with that puppet. And you never really see him. The only time he exposes himself if you actually come to the show and you want to take a picture with the puppet, and he had him, the puppet, and then like that. So, but other than that, you really don't know who he is.
Yeah.
You really don't know who he is. He's he just stays under there, and that's good because you never want to expose who you really are.
Yeah.
Because you could always live that way.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. All these years since you've been doing this, the 90s. We're now in 2021. What is life on the road been you like? Like, does that run interference with your personal life? Like, are you a father? Do you have children? Like, how do you balance all those things?
It's just hard, man. And the family got to understand that I'm living my dream. You don't want to take away from yourself, and I do try to balance that. Even worse, like on a personal note, like I'm a superintendent during the day, so I have like a whole building. What? That I have to run, that I just dip out, to the building. And the building don't know. The building doesn't know what I do on a personal note.
They know now.
We
got millions of viewers. Millions.
If 5G's listening now, I'm done. No, actually, that has happened to me. That has happened that I did a show, and one of my tenants had been on the show, didn't know I was there, happened to be in Park Slope doing a spot. And she was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh, shit. You're about to find out." You know what I mean? And then, oh my God, you're so different when you're on,
Yeah, bitch, you're my client. I gotta take care of you. Yeah.
I'm not wearing the khakis and the blue shirt right now. That's what it is. Didn't know, and it's happened that I bumped into tenants and people have seen and even found me on the internet. Who's Willie Sweets? Like, who is that you? And then oh shit, yeah, because it's totally like I'm a raunchy. During the day, I'm like, hi, Mrs. Robinson, how are you? But at night, like, fuck Mrs. Robinson. That bitch didn't pay me no tip for Christmas. Fuck Mrs. Robinson. You know what I'm saying? The game changes. You speak about what you feel. That's the beautiful part about comedy, that is therapy for me. You know what I'm saying? That's therapy for all these comics. It's just therapy. You really get to let your chest off and talk about what it is that you experience with this person. And the more you, as a comic, like, realize it, the funny you find things in general life. Like, people don't get the general thing about fun. Like, funny people get it. Like, fun people like, yo, that shit is mad funny. And that's how we say it. That's how Brooklyn people respond to that. Yo, that's mad funny. You know, and then we'll joke on it. That's how we do it. You know what I mean? That's how we get it up. But I actually take that funny, create something out of it, and then bring it to the stage and see if it works. And then people get it. You know, back in the 90s, you used to talk about roaches because we all had roaches.
Right.
Now we don't have roaches no more. Like, you gotta talk about funny shit for real now. Like, what are we going? No,
now they got bed bugs in the city.
Yeah,
now we got bed bugs. You know what I mean?
Speaking of roaches, in the mid 90s, I was living in the South Bronx. And I had met my wife. She had come over to where I was living at, and she left. And I lived in a private house, right? I had the basement apartment. So when you walk back towards the bedroom, it was a narrow hallway. I close the door. She leaves. I start walking towards my bedroom. Yo, son, a fucking water bug like this big came flying straight. Yo, dude, you know when they fly because their bodies are so heavy, they're like, yo, I was like, if she would have saw this, I would not be married right now. She'd be over. I'm never going to your place. Yeah. None. Like, I'll never go to your crib ever again.
The crazy part is, you know what the crazy part is? I still see them shits.
Really?
I still, you know, because I live in a pre-war. Well, I run and live also in a pre-war building. So these motherfuckers still exist. They was, you know, they was camping out for a long time. They got, you know, families here, family there, family under this pipe, family under that pipe, and they just happen to make their way out sometimes. I still see it. I would love to save them, but that's disgusting. But people can see, look, they still exist. Look, they still flying around.
Yeah,
that's the scariest shit you could ever see. Seeing a roach fly, that's probably the most scariest thing you could possibly see.
You're like,
it's fucking gross, is what it is, because they look disgusting, right?
The roaches with wings. Imagine that roaches with. That's crazy. Yeah. You know, a rat you see in the street. We used to that. We get on the subway, we see a rat. We know what a rat looks like. But roaches that fly, I haven't seen that since I was a kid in Puerto Rico. Like,
Puerto Rico was the first time I seen that shit.
Yeah, you don't do that here in New York. They still fly. Like, where you guys? How'd you guys migrate? How'd you get here?
Everybody in the room is real fucking quiet right now. The chat is quiet.
Nobody wants to talk about flying roaches right now. Like, wait. They might still be here.
I don't got
roaches. Might still be here.
Yo, it's funny. There was a dude that had roaches in his car. How do you have roaches in your car? Throw the whole car away. Done.
That's crazy. That means you just don't clean anything. You don't clean anything about you.
Like, you don't go to the car wash? Like, you know, you get the deluxe joint, clean in and out.
No, he gets the $8 joint. He just got the tires and the hood clean.
That's it. That's crazy. So now,
I'm sorry. The new roach thing is the bed bugs. That's the whole new thing. The bed bugs is scary too because, but it's crazy. It's crazy how the city has gentrified. Look, I'm still in Brooklyn. God bless. I'm still here. I figured out how to stay here because I love this place. But the gentrification and the bed bugs is amazing how these people respond to that. People were giving me TVs, 45-inch, 50-inch TVs because they was afraid that there was bed bugs in the TV.
Inside the TV.
I was like, there's no bugs in the TV. Stop it, Mrs. Robinson. There's no, like, get rid of, and they'll clear their whole house out. They'll empty their whole entire apartment just because they just like, no, all you got to do is clean it well. There's proper procedure for doing this and just do it right. But that's the new roaches. So to say that and saying that the transition is the bed bugs is the new roaches. I want to see what's coming next.
So Will, at any point in your career, yeah, for real, the zombie apocalypse. At any point in your career, did you ever consider writing a script, you know, like comedy, like show for TV, or have you ever considered, you know, doing acting,
like sketch comedy?
Yeah.
Well, all right, I've written for set. All right, when you write, I wrote sketch comedy. All right, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I wrote a sketch on Dave Chappelle that Dave Chappelle took and went with it. It's called they were shooting dice in the projects.
Okay.
I'm from Marcy Projects. That whole skit, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Yeah,
there's like game. ESPN, they got ESPN announcers, they're shooting dice with all the characters in the basement.
World Series of Dice.
Yeah, the World Series of Dice. They took that skit from they took it. I mean, they didn't take it from me because they actually paid for me to write. So I can't say they took it from me, but that was my idea.
Oh, wait a minute. You wrote for the Chappelle Show?
Yeah, I wrote for the Chappelle Show. I mean, I wrote for a lot of shows, but you write, but they don't necessarily take your writing.
Right.
They pay you to be there and they pay for your ideas and you brainstorm and all that other stuff. But none of that stuff is really yours. You don't get the right to that. So I can't sit here and say, oh, that's my sketch. But I can sit here and say that was my idea.
Right.
And they took my idea and they ran with it and they just built on it. And they put the ESPN aspect of it on it, and then they put when Charlie Murphy came to write Rob Ashley Larry in the basement. So that was because I lived in Marcy Projects for 11 years before. When I left Sunset, I went to Marcy Projects for 11 years, and so that was all my ideas. So I was doing that. So they took that idea and they just ran with it. So in saying that, yes, I have wrote for like shows. I did open up for Ricky Lake in the 90s. I was Ricky Lake's opener. The show Ricky Lake. Remember that fat white broad looking like the Jewish lady?
No.
I was her opener, and I used to be the one saying jokes and throwing T-shirts. And okay, Ricky's about to come out. Everybody, let's get excited. I was the guy that got everybody excited before Ricky came on.
Come on, everybody!
Yeah, I used to throw T-shirts and do little things and music acts and stuff like that I had to put together. The amazing part about Ricky Lake is that broad paid me $200 an hour, and 6 out of the 8 hours I was doing nothing. I was just laying on the couch doing nothing. And then the 2 hours when the show was being shot is when I really worked in between commercial sets, is when I just worked, she did 2 shows a day. Right. I worked 1 hour for one show, 1 hour another show. And that was my day. And I got paid $200 an hour.
How the fuck did you fall into that gig? Like, how did that come about for you?
I was writing. I was writing for like sketch comedy shows, and and I was doing comedy. So at that point, they was like, "Can you do this?" And they would just make me do like little segments. Okay, so you take a couple in the audience, and you make the guy propose to the woman, or you put on the Rocky song, and you make some guy do 5 push-ups for a T-shirt. So they was like, "Can you do this?" So they asked me to do that, and that was the transition.
Like, it was $200 an hour. Joselito just put his feature faster me over here.
Yeah, it was corny, but it was like, I'm doing whatever it is y'all want me to do for $200 an hour. And then I developed, I had a CD. I developed 12 song CD, and I used about 6 to 8 songs on the CD to do little things that the crowd could get involved with.
Skits.
That's your job. Yeah, that's your job, to get the audience involved. So once Ricky comes out, they're all excited, they're all pumped up because they're all ready to go. And I did that, and that did it for Ricky Lake, and I did it for Chris Rock's show. I did it for both those shows for about 2 years. Oh. And then, those are nice checks, but then Ricky Lake got canceled, and so did Chris Rock. You know what I mean? So it's like the job is over.
So did Willie Sweets.
What are you gonna do now?
Willie got to go back to being regular Willie.
Yeah, that's why I'm a superintendent now. It sucks that I got to get on the sinks these days, but what am I gonna do? My family got to eat. You know what I mean?
Sure. Damn, that's Ricky Lake.
Yeah, Ricky Lake. Imagine that. That's how long I've been doing comedy, since Ricky Lake. And
wow.
And then, like I said, the transition, Dave Chappelle, and you get in the room, Dave Chappelle and the writers, and Chappelle has amazing writers. I mean, Chappelle himself is we know he's one of the greatest that ever does.
I think Neil Brennan is hilarious, dude.
Neil Brennan is his number one writer.
Yeah,
Neil Brennan is his number one writer for Chappelle. Like Chappelle writes himself, but we all run out of ideas, and that's where the writers come in. And that's where the Chappelle show continues. Donnell Rollins, big shout out to Donnell Rollins. He's another great writer for Chappelle, one of his closest friends. Charlie Murphy was a big writer for Chappelle. He even got you guys showed the Charlie Murphy segments where he was talking about Rick James and all that. His own stories as a Murphy. You know what I mean? That was.
It's funny that Eddie co-signed them. Like, I was watching the shows the other day, and he co-signed those stories. Like, Prince definitely. We played basketball with him. Right. Like, that. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Prince
But you
was
can tell the stories are real, but just how Charlie told them. And just by the way Charlie told you, they was real stories. They wasn't made up stories. When Rick James was putting his feet on the couch, fuck you, Eddie Murphy.
Fuck your couch.
Yeah, fuck your couch, nigga. Those are true stories. It's just the way Charlie told them. You know what I mean? It's just great. I mean, the things a lot of things that people don't know that happen behind the scenes, as far as how comedy goes or written stuff and even sketch comedy, how it's just shot. You know what I mean? There was a lot of great sketch comedy out there, and there's a big transition. And this what I'm saying. Going back to my point, as far as these IG people, is like, damn, you guys don't even understand how much a lot of us real comics put effort in going out at night. Buying milk and leaving your kid behind just to go do 7 minutes of comedy somewhere in the city just to work on your craft. Is that a lot of, and that shit just it really gets to me. But like Aldo said, let them live. You know what I mean? That's just the new world. And it's like taking a shortcut, like having an answer to the test. You know what I mean? You guys are surviving off of it.
Well, the reality, because I'm thinking about it, what they're doing is comedy in reverse. So they're writing premises and making it funny via video. So they're doing like a sketch comedy approach, right?
Right.
But having to get on stage and do 7 or 10 minutes is a whole different animal. So again, they're approaching it from the opposite direction. I think that, people building the opportunities for themselves is great. However, when it comes time to test your mettle as a quote unquote comedian, the true test is on the stage.
Right.
And that'll really tell the story about who they are. So some people do it good, some people don't. But, you've had, 20 plus years of experience.
Yeah, and just writing and doing stuff is, man, it's been a journey for me. And you know what? Somebody asked me, do you ever want to become famous? I was like, you know what? I don't think I do. I think I've had a lot of fun just on the journey itself. Mm-hmm. The journey has been amazing, like just the things that I experienced, the people that I met, the opportunities that I got in doing all that stuff. It's like, I don't know if I want, because then if you said, all right, I'm famous now, what else do I have to accomplish? Like, it's like, what else? What else do I have to accomplish? You know what I mean? Now you're being watched. Now your life has changed. Now they're following your kid to school. Now things have changed. So I don't know, man. It's like, I guess in the beginning when I first started this, that was the goal. You want to be successful, you want to be famous, you want to be well known. But then, your life will change. And then you don't want to be disappointed too, because I have a lot of friends that have become semi-popular and famous, and then their life went down the drain and they started doing drugs, and like,
I think it's more of a thing of, you don't necessarily want to be famous. You want to be successful, right? Because before anybody knew who the fuck Mark Zuckerberg was, right? You knew Facebook. So if nobody ever knew Mark Zuckerberg's name, you think he would give a fuck? He would probably like it better that way. So I think what you're sort of alluding to is, you would rather be successful than be famous, because again, when that light is taken away from you, you don't know what to do. Like, some people don't know what to do with themselves, and like you said, they fall into drugs.
Right.
I think it's a slippery slope. I would, with what we're doing, we sort of have to not want to be famous, but it's hard to avoid, because it's, face-to-face interactions with different people, right? And at the same time, you want to be able to still live your life. We got kids, we have significant others, and we want to just be fucking able to walk about freely without somebody going, yo, Sally Sassoon, can I get your autograph? And you're like, dude, I'm trying to fucking have drinks right now with my wife. Like,
right. I'm just trying to eat at Applebee's, man.
I'm trying to have it for fun. What the fuck? Like, get away from it.
Yeah, so it's saying that and piggybacking off that thought. I feel like I've been successful, so to say. So, it's been a successful ride. I got to do a lot of things that I never thought I would do. I was just pushing, and I got a lot of opportunities, and the opportunities keep coming. I mean, look at it. I'm in a pandemic, and I'm still going to Florida in the middle of a pandemic, still working and getting money from it. It's still happening, even though all this shit is closing down. Everything, the world's closed, and I'm still doing this. And then, don't get me wrong, I'm scared in doing all this, because now I gotta get on the plane, and it's real, and You know, at first I was like, this whole Corona thing is a phony. So I see Titi with a respirator bag in the hospital, like Titi, like, oh my God, this shit is real. Titi's mucked up. You know what I mean? Titi's all jacked up. I thought this was not real, but it's as real as it could get, man. It's as real as it could get.
Will, who? I mean, you talked about Bernie Mac earlier, but who gave you would say your best advice in the comedy scene, and what advice would you give to the younger cats, like you said, that didn't go through that struggle of what you and like Imagine and so many others have gone through,
right?
In this.
When back in the days when I first started doing it, there was a spot in the Village, right, and it was to be minority room only on Sundays. This is the most successful room. I mean, the most successful room all week long was the minority room on Sunday night. So imagine us, us Puerto Ricans, blacks, we going out on Sunday nights to go have a good time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And there was so many. The best advice I've ever gotten was from Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? Dave Chappelle told me this. He's like, just don't stop. Don't stop doing it. Get on stage. You're in the biggest city in the world. There's no reason why you can't get on stage every night. Mm-hmm. You're in the biggest city in the world. When you live in Illinois, you ain't going to get these opportunities. You live anywhere else, you're not going to get these opportunities. So just don't stop. Get on stage every night and figure out who you are. Because the more you figure yourself out, the more comfortable you are up there, then people think it's that much easier to do. Like, people think that it's easy for Chappelle. That dude writes for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and he just lays it out there and he makes it look like it's so natural, but it's so not. It's so not natural when you're doing that comedy thing.
You got to work out, like they say.
Yeah,
right?
You got to work it out. I've seen Chappelle bomb. I've seen Jerry Seinfeld bomb. You know what I mean? Jerry Seinfeld had 52 cars in the basement somewhere in Manhattan, and I've seen him bomb, and he just never stopped. You know what I mean? And when you love this game, like anything you might love, any game that you might love, football, basketball, you're not going to stop. You're going to keep working. You're going to try to be the LeBron James of what you do. You know what I mean? And it's just keep going. That's the best advice I can give a young comic, is just keep going, man. They're like, you'll find yourself. If you really want to do this, you really find, when you were young, you never believed, the teacher would tell you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a fireman. They were asking you that to tell you that if you really want to be a fireman, you could be it. And I want to plant that seed in your head to be that fireman. You know what I mean? So, and I never believed that the whole saying, keep working at it, don't doubt yourself, never have a plan B. I never believed that, but I've tasted that before. Like, I stopped. I'm going to be a super. I don't know if I'm going to make it to be a famous comedian. I'm going to go be a super. So I always let the plan B stop me. But I always tasted that you really can, as an individual, and the kids out there, and anybody for that matter, if you want to make things happen in your heart, you really push, it will happen. That if you don't doubt yourself, it will happen. And I've tasted that. I've felt it before. I was at that. I was striving to be that best person. And at one point I was the best I could be. And then I just stopped believing in myself. But that was my own downfall. I fucked myself up with that one. No, I can't do this no more.
You convinced me. Now the pup set is coming.
The pup set.
Yo, Willie, let me ask you a question. Who has been your biggest supporter throughout this whole journey that you've been on?
You know what? It's gonna sound crazy, but me. I've been listen. I could invite dad. I could invite mom. I could invite all of them. But I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll come to the show, no problem. And they never showed up. So after a while, it was heartbreaking. So my biggest support is me just not giving up on myself. I know it sounds narrow-minded and shallow, but it's just you just have to be, because after a while you want the support, because that's the question: who's your biggest supporter? Nobody. Because if it wasn't for me going out there and continuing doing what I do, I would never. If I counted on mom to go there and laugh the way she laughs in the kitchen, and to go out there to show, I would be fucking heartbroken. The mom's not here to laugh like she laughs in the kitchen with Titi and all of them. She's not here. So my biggest one is just me. It's just, again, it goes back to the point of piggy banking, that you gotta just believe in yourself and just do the best you can and, you know, go stride and go, you know, because you're not going to get the support you need. Not everybody's going to believe you. Not everybody's going to think you funny. You know what I mean? You ain't funny. I'm funny, motherfucker. You ain't funny.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like then Theo tries to be funny. Then Titi tries to be funny. Everybody wants to be funny around you. They just don't get it. You're a funny person. You might even be funny looking. You know what I mean? But you just, it's a different craft of funny. You know what I mean? And it's hard. So in saying that out, I'm my biggest supporter. You know what I'm saying? Like Snoop Dogg once said, Snoop Dogg came on stage, was like, you know, I just want to thank me first. You know what I mean? I want to thank me first. And it's true. I understood what he said when, like, nobody believed in Snoop and he became Snoop.
Yeah,
You know
comedy's like, you know, comedy's one of the toughest things you could probably do, man. Like, you know, you being on stage and like, I gotta make these motherfuckers laugh and continue, you know, for how many minutes and none, you know, oof. And you gotta deal with hecklers and shit like that. And
they say that besides public speaking, like speeches and stuff like that, it's the second hardest thing to do. Like comedy and public speaking. They say death and comedy, it goes hand in hand. Like, what? I'd rather die than stand up there and try to speak to people I don't know. And you gotta think about it. I go to cities and I don't know these cities. I go there during the day and I try to learn the cities and try to adapt to what it is that's going on. And they don't know me and I don't know them. One time I went to Kansas City, Missouri. I had it worse than the fucking Def Jam situation. I had to go to Kansas City, Missouri, and they have accents. Now they have accents. According to them, I have the accent. So I went there and they didn't understand the fucking thing I said. For 25 minutes, they were standing there looking at me like I was a fish in a fish tank, just like, what is he saying? Yeah. What for 25 minutes and I'm bombing and I'm like, fuck it, just ask me some questions. Somebody say something to me because you guys are not responding. And then when I found out at the end of the show, they was like, we just didn't understand your accent, son. And I was like, what the fuck do you not understand? Like I was, and then I knew halfway through the 25, I slowed down. I was like, okay, let me almost tell knock jokes in this motherfucker. Because I could see that they're not getting me. Yeah. You know, I could see that they're not. So I slowed down and I told, you know, good jokes that even you would chuckle. These fuckers are like, are you guys alive? At one point in time, I was like, are you guys alive? Because these are knock jokes. This is internet commercial jokes, and you guys are just looking at me. And
what's crazy is you got to go approach the dude that got to fucking pay you after the show. Like I did my set, where's my bread?
No, I almost didn't ask for the money. I was like, okay, you know, like I didn't
pay you in ribs.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, he was like, yo, I just want to let you know, son, we'll never have you back here again. I was like, okay, I understand, Missouri. You know, you guys didn't get me. I got you. You know what I mean? I was like, I got you. It happens. It happens, and you know, it's so hard, man. In so many different places, because cultures are different, man. Just so many cultures are different. When I Latin people, I always win every time, 100%. Always win. I can always relate to them. You know, with the brothers, the brothers get me. You know what I mean? Some of them call me, oh, you look like a little morenito. They get me. They got me. You the little morenito. But the white people are hard because they really. You better tell them something really funny and intelligent. You know, you got to tell them something eclectic for them to laugh. You know what I mean? And that's where the set changes. And you got to know how to do that as a comic. You got to know how to bend your ways and be who you need to be. You know what I'm saying? For the room you're in. And that I learned in Missouri that day. Like I never bomb like that again.
What's your favorite room, Will?
My favorite room, like to go to comedy club?
Yeah. To perform in.
The Florida Improv in Tampa.
Okay.
The Florida Improv in Tampa. That's a great room. The Comedy Store in Los Angeles. That's a great room because when you come performing, you see like stars walk in, like celebrities just walking in the room and they going on before you and they watching you. And it's comedy in LA. Comedy is serious, man. They take that shit serious.
What do you like about the Tampa room?
The people, the energy, Tampa. I guess it's the hot weather that people just there to have a good time. Like Florida's a whole different atmosphere. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and it's just a whole different thing. You know what I mean? They live like they don't care, and it's true. It's like right now the COVID's happening, and nobody's wearing masks in Florida. They just live like they don't care. Like
Listen,
literally live like that.
When motherfuckers are going through the drive-thru and throwing alligators at the fucking servers, like they don't care.
Yeah, they wildin'. Florida is wildin'. Florida is really wildin'.
You hosted for us, right? Like you helped us, you hosted, and then you know, like you opened for like the show with us, and you do comedy, right? Skit sets. What do you like more?
As far as what?
Like, what do you rather do? Like host like you did with us, or have your sets? Like do your 10, 20 minutes or
no, the sets is where you want to be. That's what's going to be. But you know what it is? A lot of people don't make that trend. A lot of people can't host.
Right.
That's what a lot of people can't host. The hosting is a whole nother animal. And that's why I try to like lean towards hosting, because you could do your 10 minutes and your 10 minutes could be funny, your 20 minutes could be funny. And once you develop that, you're called a featured act. Like you could open up for anybody. You're a featured act. 20 solid minutes and you're a featured act anywhere you go in the country. If you could get 20 solid minutes. Hosting is not easy. Hence why I like admire Steve Harvey. Like Steve Harvey can do solid 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and he can host a game show, a kids show, all types of shows on TV. And you know, he gets a lot of money. Steve Harvey's a real successful person because he can kind of juggle both balls.
You might have to host the set versus
easy with the juggle both balls. wait a second.
You might have to host the set versus breeze shooters game.
Yeah. That would be dope.
Okay, what is that? You guys just sent me up, but he's telling me to pause.
So basically,
no. He's saying pause for the juggling.
Yeah, you was a little too comfortable making that analogy right there, brother.
Listen, I as a kid I juggled and I rode. Josel, you ever see me ride a unicycle? No, you never seen me ride a unicycle. Okay, I used to ride a unicycle.
This line, please.
I swear to everything I love. You check the IG. I have a picture of my last unicycle that I used to ride. I wanted to be a clown when I grew up. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a clown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first Latino that lived in Marlboro Projects who actually juggled and rode a unicycle, Mr. Willie.
Wait. First of all, all right.
Marcy Projects.
Yo, son, you shouldn't have fixed it. I would have stayed in Marlboro.
That was a step up from Marcy.
That's a step down. But now that everybody in the hood, like, yo, you used to ride unicycle, bro? I don't know, man. You wear open toe sandals too, brother?
Yeah.
So what's breeze shooters? What's that? Tell me about that.
Breeze
That's
shooters.
Your boys podcast, Louie and Chris.
Oh, Louie and them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that competition or they probably watching right now? This thing is that.
We're actually gonna do a segment. We're gonna do a segment with them, the old versus the young. We're gonna have a little segment. And it will. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. So I'm glad you said that. You could come and host and be the mediator, moderator for that segment. Mr. James Morales says, I remember him juggling though. You did not need to tell us that.
Easy, because he's playing my balls too. James, don't do that. Don't do that. You play my balls in front of the other guys. Don't do that.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Willie Sweets from Brooklyn, the juggler, the unicycle rider, the comedian.
Can I get a writer credit in there? Can I get a little writer credit in there?
And writer extraordinaire and co-host of the Ricky Lake Show. Jesus Christ, the nigga said Ricky Lake.
Yeah, that shows my age, damn it.
That shows all of our ages because we remember.
Oh yeah. Before sharing age, I just want to big happy birthday shout out to myself.
Oh, happy birthday, brother!
Happy born day, kid. St. Patty's Day,
birthday,
huh?
St. Patty's Day.
Wow. Yeah, my solar return. I'm back.
Yeah.
My solar return.
Will, before you get up out of here, first of all, everybody who comes on the show becomes part of the family. If in the near future you have an event, you have a personal happen, you're gonna get a sex change, you want to tell everybody about it, reach out to us. We'll bring you on.
You want to juggle?
You want to juggle?
You balls. You guys are never gonna leave me alone with the balls, huh? I did this. I should have did 3.
We're gonna just edit that part. You know that it's gonna be on IG. We'll like this.
That would be a fucking meme right now. This guy, look, he's juggling balls. That would be a meme right now. You guys are gonna make me a meme, and that's gonna make everyone famous.
If you ever have anything to promote or want to share, the platform is yours. You just reach out, and this is for you.
No, I appreciate you guys. The set, man. This is great, man. I mean, God bless you guys. What you're doing, man. This is dope. Keep going. Like anything.
We're definitely gonna do that.
Thank you,
We're
brother.
gonna keep it.
And I'm gonna keep watching. You know what I'm saying? One more time for me. When do you guys come on? I know Wednesdays at 7.
Sundays at 7, Wednesdays at 7 as well. Every Sunday, Wednesday.
I mean, we'll talk about this behind the scenes, but I definitely want to see you guys successful. So I know Joselito was supposed to come on tonight. He was supposed to, but no, I'm gonna have to get him. I'm gonna have to get him to come on and do this for you guys.
We'll work it out. Appreciate you, man.
Now we're gonna work it out because he was supposed to come on. He was supposed to do it for my birthday, so. He was like, "Nah, I'm running the streets."
Hit him with the prices right.
Yeah, you know.
No, he'll come. No, I wanted him to be a guest of a guest type shit. He fucked it all up.
It's all
but
good.
He will be. But definitely, and there's anything, I appreciate you guys, man. The set is dope. I appreciate you guys, and yes, I would like to host that old school, new school shit.
All right, cool.
You guys, as soon as y'all get together, I have segments that we can mess around with. Because of course I know Lou really well, and I know Sully very well. You know what I mean? So and now I know Abe good, and and we're gonna just make this real funny. And now we'll make this real funny. Because now y'all put the bug in my ear, and now I got ideas for what you guys can do
sure.
to make this that much better. But thanks you guys again for having me. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming on.
April 1st, April Fool's Day. You know, and me, Aldo, Mr. Nueva York. Tommy,
where could they get tickets at? Where's it at?
Where's it at?
It's in Brooklyn somewhere, man. I mean, I didn't really. That's in Brooklyn. I didn't post it because they didn't put me on the flyer. So I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm not posting. Y'all ain't put me on the flyer. I'm not posting. I'll see y'all there. Just give me the money. And that's pretty much it. Y'all ain't put me on the flyer." But that's the next, and Joselito, of course. Joselito,
you petty like me. Like I ain't liking certain guys' pages anymore and things like that. Oh, you big leaguing me to come on the show? All right, you get no likes from me.
No, I unfollow motherfuckers like crazy. I want to unfollow you. Woo. Before you know that, that's terrible. We think that way. I hope you don't think that way, Sal.
You know what?
He don't care.
We helped a lot of people out. We ain't asking for much, right?
No, exactly.
Help on a little return.
Now when I put money in your pocket, you should be on it like that.
That's
you
a
know
fact.
What I mean? Oh, okay. Now the other, I'm certain things are starting to click.
Yeah. Wondering when you was gonna catch on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I was.
I'm not ready to air people out yet, but
so if you wasn't listening 45 minutes ago, you missed this totally.
Yeah.
We break 1,000 viewers, 1,000 subscribers on Facebook and YouTube tonight. I'll blow everybody up. I'll start saying name dropping out this motherfucker.
That's dope. But yo, man, again, thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it. I'll definitely reach out again. I'm definitely following this and pushing it. I'm pushing it and tell everyone, tell my friends and family, yo, follow it. It's great. It's great. This is beautiful.
Salute, man. Listen,
I
Will,
appreciate you guys.
Can you sit in the green room? We'll talk. Let us close out the show. We'll talk after the show.
Dope, definitely. I got you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Brooklyn's own, Mr. Willie Sweets. Damn. Good brother.
Yeah.
It's funny to catch up with somebody that you kind of know.
Yeah.
See where they're at now.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
It was the same because I know him as Fred. So I'm always Fred. And then I'm like, oh shit, Willie Sweets. Like when I first got introduced in the comedy, the comedy scene when he was doing it, I was like, oh, Fred. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna close out the show, but just remember this coming Sunday, Soundview Zone, Minnesota Moneyball's Players, 7:00. Come and check us out. Eastern. Yes, Eastern. We're gonna play a little piece off his album right here. If you haven't picked it up, go to iTunes, go to what's that other platform, Sal? I'm lost right now. Spotify. So it's Spotify and iTunes. It's called Once Upon a Handshake, Soundview Zone, Minnesota for Moneyball's Players.
Give a late birthday shout out to my brother Peter yesterday, 2 days ago. Sorry, and my sister and Joey, my son, on Friday. They're having their birthday, so I'm giving them a shout.
Happy birthday to the big brother Pete, the general on the basketball court when we was kids, boy, holding it down. To our brother Mr. James Morales, we see you, brother. Yes, sir, barking.
Yeah, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get up and out of here. Remember, Sunday at 7 p.m. Don't forget to check us out.
Please hit them subscribes on YouTube. Hit them like,
share it.
Appreciate all you guys.
We out of here.